over my head. I know that you won't let me down. When I'm broken and down to nothing, I know that you are always up to something good. I know that you are always up to something good. You'll make a way, whatever it takes. There's nothing your love won't endure. I know that you are always up to something good. Even through the deepest valley, you go before me, you are here. For I know you'll never leave me. Your love surrounds me, I won't fear. When I'm broken and down to nothing, I know that you are always up to something good. I know that you are always up to something good. You'll make a way, whatever it takes. There's nothing your love won't endure. I know that you are always up to something good. Through the darkest night, you are on my side. You were always faithful. Through my fear and doubt, you will lead me out. You were always able. Through the darkest night, you are on my side. You were always faithful. Through my fear and doubt, you will lead me out. I know that you are always up to something good. I know that you are always up to something good. You'll make a way, whatever it takes. There's nothing your love won't endure. I know that you are always up to something good. You'll make a way, whatever it takes. There's nothing your love won't endure. I know that you are always up to something good.
Hey guys, welcome to Kid Jam today. Hope you guys are doing great. You've got through your other week here of NTI, just pushed forward. Proud of you. Good job, moms and dads out there. And today is a special time because we always want to remember our moms on Mother's Day weekend. So big shout out to your moms for all their love and care and raising you up to be men and women of God. So big shout out to all of our moms today. So happy to have you here with us. We're going to take a look at our memory verse to get us started. And it's Proverbs 3, 5, and 6. So it's on the wall behind me, so you can follow along with me. And let's say that together. Proverbs 3, 5, and 6. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he will make your path straight. So it's a great verse for us to be learning, and I'm going to be telling you a little bit something about that in our challenge this week. Well, I know it's one of our favorite parts of Kid Jam is the no budget production skits. Let's see what Ernest and Mr. Simmons are up to today.
Good morning, Ernest.
Oh no.
It's your old pal, me, Mr. Simmons. And boy, oh boy, do I have a fun exercise plan today.
Not interested.
Today, we're going to be playing balloon pass.
Balloon pass?
All we have to do is keep this balloon up in the air, tossing it back and forth with our hands.
That doesn't sound too hard.
Of course, and we better not let it touch the ground.
Why not?
Because this balloon was just blown up by my Aunt Louise, who just got done eating her favorite snack, raw onions.
But why would you do that?
To make sure you get out of that chair and help me keep the balloon up in the air. Duh. Wow, way to go, Ernest. You're a natural. You moved out of that chair faster than Israel moved out of Egypt.
What does this have to do with Egypt?
Ernest, it has everything to do with Egypt. God told the Israelites to move quickly, and they did. God was with the Israelites in Egypt and the wilderness, protecting them. Just like you are protecting us from Aunt Louise's bad breath.
Why are you doing this?
Because I want you to move when God says move. I want you to trust Him to look after you when He puts you on the move to go wherever He says.
I do trust him. I do. I just don't trust you.
Come on, Ernest. You can trust me.
Why are you doing this?
Ernest, buddy, I only want the best for you, like God wants the best for His people. Listen, Ernest, I'm just trying to make you move. That's all.
Get your onion balloon away from me.
Wow, Ernest, look at you move now.
Hey, do you know some of the bravest athletes are the running backs? Yes, they're some of the smaller guys on the football team, but they're one of the bravest and, of course, fastest. Running backs are not the big guys on the team. As you know, the defensive linemen are your big guys on the team. But running backs are tasked with taking the football all the way across the line, deep into enemy territory. And to do that, they've got to get past those defensive linemen. As you know, they're huge, they're strong, kind of scary looking if you're like small. So anyway, they've got a job to get that football across the line. When a football coach calls a running play, he's asking that running back to go straight towards and through those defensive linemen. He's asking that smaller guy, who's strong too, but not like a defensive lineman, to go right through there. Sounds kind of like a crazy idea. Well, lucky for him, the running back has a few friends, and those are his offensive linemen, and they're right in front of him. So when the play starts and the defensive lineman will run straight toward the ball, the offensive lineman will block the defensive lineman, but they won't just hold them in place. So they have a job to do. The offensive linemen on the left are pushing their guys to the left, and the guys on the right are trying to push their guys to the right. And if they do their job well, they're going to open up a sweet spot right down the middle, just big enough for their running back to go through. See, our running back has to move quickly to get through that hole that was created before the defensive lineman can recover and come after him. It all happens in a split second. It's fast. So the running backs do this game after game after game. That's their role. That's their job. Play after play. They have faith in their coach's plan. They have faith in the offensive linemen, and they know that that line is going to protect them as best as they can so that they can get down the line past those defensive linemen. Because the ultimate goal, as we know, is to score a touchdown. Good catch, Peyton. He's awesome. So anyway, sometimes we need to move quickly when God says move, just like that running back. And when he does, we can move with the same faith as our brave running back. Knowing that God has the plan, that God is going to protect us, that he is going to make a way for us when it might seem difficult, helps us continue on and move our faith forward. See, today we're going to see how he protected the nation of Israel when he led them out of slavery in Egypt. And that seemed like a very impossible task. So take a look with me. Hopefully you have your Bibles with you. Go ahead and turn to Exodus chapter 12. We're going to be looking at verses 21 through 42. So Exodus chapter 12, verses 21 through 42. See, the Israelites have been slaves for like 430 years in Egypt. They cried out to God, and God sent a man named Moses to save them. When a stubborn king refused to let God's people go free, God sent 10 terrible plagues on the land to show the king that he was serious about saving his people. And the first plague, some of you hopefully will remember some of these because we talked about this last summer. We did a whole series on Moses and the Israelites. But the first plague was where Moses turned the water into blood, where the Nile was turned into a river of blood. The second thing was frogs. And they're not the cute little stuffed frogs that we like, but these were like all over the place, these frogs were. And they were in their pots, and they were in their beds, and they were everywhere. And they would kill them and just heap them up in piles, and they were stinking, and that was gross. Then there were the gnats or the lice that came upon the people, and they were so thick and so irritating. Then came, after that, flies. Flies were everywhere. They were in their eyes. They were on every little creature, person. It was awful. Then came the disease of the livestock. Cattle would die. The things that they would need for meat to survive. So their livestock was diseased and dying. Then came another one. It seems like each one progressively got worse. Was the boils on the people's skin. Then came hail and lightning. And then the land was covered with locusts. And the locusts left whatever crop was left from all the damage from the other insects and from the hail. And then came darkness. Darkness completely covered the land when the sun was supposed to be shining. And then after those 9 plagues, Pharaoh each time would call Moses in, and he would say, "Go, you and your people go and worship the Lord your God." But then he would turn his back against that promise and wouldn't let the people go. And so God kept sending plague after plague to show Pharaoh, the king of Egypt, that he was God and that he was in control. So each plague came, and Pharaoh still refused to let God's people until we get to the 10th plague, which was the worst and the hardest and the saddest plague of all. And that plague was that the firstborn male of every family would die. And this is where we're going to be picking up our story today. God's commandments to the people to protect them through this time. So if you will turn with me to Exodus 12:21 through 42. Then Moses summoned all the elders of Israel and said to them, "Go at once and select the animals for your families and slaughter it for the Passover lambs. Take a bunch of hyssop, dip it into the blood and in the basin, and put some of the blood on the top and both sides of the doorframe. Not one of you shall go out the door of this house until morning. When the Lord goes through the land to strike down the Egyptians, he will see the blood on the top and sides of the doorframe and will pass over that doorway. And he will not permit the destroyer to enter your houses and strike you down. Obey these instructions as a lasting ordinance for you and your descendants. When you enter the land that the Lord will give you, as he promised, obey and observe this ceremony. And when your children ask you, 'What does this ceremony mean to you?' then tell them, 'It is the Passover sacrifice to the Lord, who passed over the houses of the Israelites in Egypt and spared our homes when he struck down the Egyptians.' Then the people bowed down and worshipped. The Israelites did just what the Lord commanded Moses and Aaron. At midnight, the Lord struck down all the firstborn in Egypt, from the firstborn of Pharaoh, who sat on the throne, to the firstborn of the prisoner who was in the dungeon, and the firstborn of all the livestock as well. Pharaoh and all his officials and all the Egyptians got up during the night, and there was loud mourning in Egypt, for there was not a house without someone dead. During the night, Pharaoh summoned Moses and Aaron and said, 'Up, leave my people, you and the Israelites. Go, worship the Lord as you have requested. Take your flocks and herds as you have said, and go, and also bless me.' The Egyptians urged the people to hurry and leave the country, for otherwise, they said, 'We may all die.' So the people took their dough before the yeast was added and carried it on their shoulders in kneading troughs wrapped in cloth. The Israelites did as Moses instructed and asked the Egyptians for articles of silver and gold and for clothing. The Lord had made the Egyptians favorably disposed toward the people, and they gave them what they asked for as they plundered the Egyptians. The Israelites joined from Ramses to Succoth. There are about 600,000 men on foot, besides women and children. Many other people went up with them, as well as large droves of livestock, both flocks and herds. With the dough they had brought from Egypt, they baked cakes of unleavened bread. The dough was without yeast because they had been driven out of Egypt and did not have time to prepare food for themselves. Now the length of time the Israelite people lived in Egypt was 430 years. At the end of the 430 years, to the very day, all the Lord's divisions left Egypt, because the Lord kept vigil that night to bring them out of Egypt. On this night, all the Israelites are to keep vigil, to honor the Lord for the generations to come. See, when the king finally let the people go, they gathered up all their things as quickly as they can. They knew that God had heard their prayers because Moses had come to save them. They knew God would protect the people and that God would move quickly. And they trusted him to lead and protect them on their journey to safety, to the new land. And every time God came to their rescue, their faith increased in him. That's how it will be with us. If we have faith to get moving, when God tells us to move, we will keep moving because we know God will go with us and that God will protect us. The Israelites had witnessed God's protection so many times during those last few days of Egypt, because one of the interesting things I hadn't mentioned yet was about the plagues. The plagues only affected the Egyptian nation. The Israelites were never harmed in any way by the plagues. They didn't go through the flies or the gnats or the hail or lose livestock or even lose their firstborn. So God protected his people through the plagues. God led the Israelites from Egypt to the Red Sea, and that's an exciting story in itself. It seemed like an impossible situation when Pharaoh decided to chase the Israelites down. He had a change of heart, a change of attitude, and so he decided to go and pursue the Israelites even after he told them they could go and worship their God. So we have the Israelite army coming up the Egyptian army coming up on the Israelites encamped. We have a Red Sea, we have the Israelites, we have Egyptians in chariots. It looked crazy. But God separated them between them with a cloud so that they could not see them. And then he created a fire at night as a guide for the Israelites. So they were encamped along the Red Sea, and it was a scary moment for them. But Moses knew God had a plan. Moses stretched out his staff, and the Red Sea parted, and the people walked across to safety on dry land. I always like to say it must have been kind of like the first aquarium. You're walking across the sea and there's like live fish and all that kind of stuff still swimming and doing their thing, as you're walking across. But what was also incredible about that was the land was dry. The water in the river was dry for them to cross. So I think that's pretty cool. So they get across to the other side. So what does Pharaoh's army do? They pursue them, right? They chase them right into the sea. So they're going into the sea. And then when they get in there, then God closes the sea back on them and they drown. Miriam, Moses' sister, and the ladies sing a song of victory with tambourines and dancing because God had been so good and faithful to them. It was a story that would ring throughout the nation's ears of how God had protected his people Israel and what had happened to the country of Egypt. See, the Egyptian people did not believe in our God. They worshiped false gods. And God was to show the people, not only in Egypt, but throughout the land, that he was the one and only God. And that He protects and loves his people. Well, today, you know what? God is the same way for us. God is with us when we might feel like the running back. We might feel like we're running through an impossible situation. But God has a plan, and his plan is to protect you, and his plan is to get you through to the other side so that you can be victorious. So you can have a touchdown for Jesus, so to speak. So God is with you. He loves you. He's there to protect you. The God of Israel is our God today. He loves us. He's true to his word, and he is faithful. He asks us to trust him. Let him increase your faith in the things that might seem impossible in your life. Thank you so much for being with us today and sharing the story with me. I love these stories in Exodus that we read about of the Israelites and of Moses. They're inspiring stories for us. And just remember, these are real people, just like you and me, that went through real things, that saw God at work around them. And God is at work around you too. All right, well, listen to this next seed song. It's called Fear Not. It'll be kind of like a little quiet song for us, a little reflective time like we would if we had communion right now. So just listen to the words of this song. I thought they went really well with our lesson today, and hopefully they'll encourage you. Thank you.
Isaiah 41:10.
Hey guys, welcome back. Hope you enjoyed that new seed song, Fear Not. But now, let's see, we've got another shenanigan for you. Unfortunately, Mr. Clay is not feeling well. He was able to do the skit for us, but he's not going to be able to do the shenanigan part. But hey, it's okay because we got Peyton, and Peyton's going to see how long he can keep the balloon up in the air. So let's check it out. Way to go, Mr. Peyton. Thanks for your balloon shenanigan today. Hope you enjoyed that. We've got a little montage of some of your kites. We had a few of you that showed us your kites. Maybe some of you haven't got to make them yet. You can still send photos to us. We'd love to see them on our group Facebook page. So check out some of our kites that were created this week. Hey guys, hope you enjoyed the kite montage. Awesome work. Proud of you guys. Also, this week I do have a little challenge for you. It's called the Proverbs Pop-Up. And what that is we want you to say Proverbs 3, 5, and 6, but we want you to pop up out of one of your favorite spots. It could be at home, it could be in your yard, it could be at the park, wherever it is. So videotape us telling us Proverbs 3, 5, and 6. So pop up and tell us your verse from wherever you're at. So I think that'll be fun to see. Also, I have some fun little prizes. I have this fun little Awana dog pen. Yes, it's a pen. It's pretty fun. So I have these brand new pens I haven't got to give you all. And then one of our favorite things, yes, a popper. Yeah. So anyway, get your videos submitted to us on our group Facebook page. And enjoy this little Happy Mother's Day movie at the end.
What makes your mom happy?
Flowers. When I listen. When I be good or something. A hug. I don't know. That's too tight.
What makes your mom sad?
When I don't listen. Like when we get hurt.
What's something that your mom does every day?
Read the Bible, cleans the house. I think work. Kisses me.
What's something your mom always says to you?
I love you. And brush my teeth. Go clean the room. Behave. Don't let the dog upstairs. Do not bother mom while she's sleeping.
How old is your mom?
I think 5. 12. That's a very, very tricky question. I know she's a half and something. 70.
What's your mom's favorite thing to do?
Play with me. Sit in that chair. Date night. Shop. Shopping. Go shopping. Just do shopping every day. She always wants to go shopping. Me and I get tired doing that. It's kind of boring.
Where's your mom's favorite place to go?
Chinese restaurant. An animal shelter. I think it's to the mall. Go to the restroom.
How are you and your mom the same?
Our hair. Our eyes. We have the same thumbs. We're really flexible. We both have long tongues, but my sister and my dad don't really.
How are you and your mom different?
Our eyes are different. The color of me. I'm brown and she's tan. Mom has curly hair and I have straight hair. I do have better abs.
What's your favorite thing about your mom?
That she doesn't like to be away from us. When she gets down on the floor and plays with me. She's a really good teacher. I like her face. Her smile. When she lets me put on her makeup. That I can cuddle with her at night. She is really special. She's really, 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 really nice.
How do you know that your mom loves you?
She prays and she kisses me and she says I love you. So she's in my family. How she takes care of us. By making breakfast, doing my laundry. That she helps me get dressed. Takes me to all the things I do after school. That she plays games with me. Play soccer with me. Play bubbles when I sit in her lap. We watch movies. We get our nails painted. Make a scrapbook. Fish. Outside cookouts and bonfires. She spends time with us and not all by herself. She's patient with us. She does everything with me. Because she says it every day. Kisses me every night. And all kinds of stuff.
I just know that she loves me because she says, I'll always love you.
She's awesome.
She loves me no matter what, like God.
I love you, Mommy. Happy Mother's Day.